p.m. Candy, do we have a quorum, please?
Yes, sir. We have present Mayor Moss, Councilmember Contreras, Councilmember Van Zant, Councilmember Ronenbaum, Councilmember Crummell, and Mayor Pro Tem Young is absent.
Thank you. Would you all please stand? Join me in a moment of silence, please. Thank you. And would you join me in the pledge, please? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Could I get the members of Freedom House to come up, please? We have a proclamation this month, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In the city of Rural Park, in recognition of the critical work being done by domestic violence advocates and allies in service of the survivors and victims they serve, I encourage all citizens to actively engage in the scheduled activities and events sponsored by Freedom House and other organizations working toward an eradication of domestic violence. More than 20,000 calls are placed to domestic violence hotlines nationwide every day. The impact of domestic violence is felt not only by individuals and families, but communities and the nation as a whole. Willow Park joins with others across the state of Texas and nationwide in supporting domestic violence victims and survivors, the advocates and organizations who serve them, and holding offenders accountable in Parker County, Texas. Now therefore, I, Doyle Moss, Mayor of the City of Willow Park, hereby proclaim October 2021 as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Would you join me in a round of applause? We have a couple of items of interest we want to take care of, then we will get to public comments. First thing is to approve council meeting minutes of September 14th, 2021 meeting. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Thank you. And our first item of business is to make an appointment to the city secretary position. Do we have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion, I move that the Willow Park City Council appoint Crystal Dozier to the city secretary position effective immediately.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
When we say immediately, we mean immediately.
On the clock.
Candy's been doing that since mid-July, so I think she's ready.
We have public comments now. We'll start off. The first one is Mr. KJ Hanna. Miss KJ Hanna, would you please state your name and address, please? And you have 3 minutes.
3, I already had 5.
3.
Yours says 5.
We have 3 minutes.
Council member, mayor, and neighbors. My name's KJ Hanna. I live at Meadow Place Estates in Willow Park. The law of unintended consequences is the most exampled law of economics. Economists have heeded the power of the law of unintended consequences for centuries, and for just as long, politicians and lawmakers have been ignoring it. I'm hoping that's what happened during the 15 July P&Z meeting and the 13 July council meeting when the commission and the council passed Ordinance 834-21, the commercial amusement ordinance. Y'all accidentally let the camel get his nose into the tent. During these two meetings, the example given was a movie theater. Apparently, a movie theater had approached Willow Park, but because we didn't have a commercial amusement ordinance, we lost the chance to watch The Lion King and Pocahontas and The Little Mermaid. And that is why no one spoke against the commercial amusement ordinance during the public hearings. So, at the new upscale private card club that is now trying to make residents right here in Willow Park, are they planning to show The Lion King? This is not about morality. I don't care whether you like to play poker or not. Alice Roosevelt Longworth said, "I don't care what you do as long as you don't do it in the street and frighten the horses." However, private clubs, private card clubs, private gentlemen clubs, private strip clubs, private clubs that try to hide unlawful activities always ruin the area's reputation and the property's value around them. That's why Buck's Gentlemen's Club is on Meacham Boulevard, and Fort Worth is in the middle of a giant industrial park. That's why the Real Action Card Club in Pool Hall in Euless, Texas, is in the middle of a big old industrial park. That's why the Heritage Card Club is held at the large amusement center and heritage community of Fort Worth in a tightly planned, controlled HOA, more than double the size of Willow Park. That's why Dallas is panicking. And I quote from the Spectrum News, July 2021. Dallas approved its first official poker room, the Texas Card House, back in 2019, which is still operating today. However, Dallas District 12 council member is pushing for a change to the city code so that future poker rooms can't open in a retail space without a specific use permit or consideration of nearby residential zoning to prevent them from opening where they aren't wanted. Even Dallas is trying to learn from their unintended consequences and trying to undo a law just like the one Willow Park just passed. The citizens of Willow Park now request three things from our elected officials. First, the council needs to immediately have a persuasive conversation with a company who is leasing or selling the current private card club, a conversation that will make the private card club understand that Willow Park is too small and too residential and does not have any commercial districts that are distant enough from residential areas to allow these gray area private clubs. Then the council needs to post an agenda of a special council meeting 72 hours from tomorrow, and on the agenda immediately revoke the commercial amusement ordinance until it can be reworked, perhaps with specific use permits for all requests for commercial amusement. That way, city council members will need to stand up and make their vote public for each application for commercial amusement in Willow Park. And finally,
thank you, Ms.
And finally, please let us know that this gray area is the result of a law of unintended consequences. Tell us you did not Trojan horse this private club on an ordinance less than 3 months old. Please reassure us that you didn't deal under the table, that you didn't deal from the bottom of a deck. A play which in both poker and politics is considered cheating and has its own unintended consequences.
Thank you, Ms.
As always,
Ms. Hannah,
for your
I'm
public service and for taking on the often thankless job, I sincerely and humbly thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hope Olson.
All right, so I did not plan to come up here and speak today until this morning, so I don't have the statements that she had. And I've never actually come to council before. My name is Hope Olson. I live on Willow Park Drive. I walked here. It was awesome. I should come more often, and I plan to. So I will just say that when my family and I moved here 7 years ago, we knew that we wanted to make a home here forever. We have put in a pool. This is like the American dream. I love everything that we've done in this community. When I heard about this poker room, I'm very concerned. I'm just very concerned about the clientele and the possibility of not having the best interest in our community. I don't think that this club could bring in, and not everybody is going to be bad, obviously, but like she was saying, there's law of unintended consequences. And I fear with that, in addition to potentially others that could come after that, there could be unintended consequences. I do understand, I'm almost done, I promise, like I have no written statement or anything. I do understand we're a bedroom community. I do understand that. And I do understand that raising taxes is probably a no-no. I don't want that either. And we need the revenue. There's got to be other ways. There's got to be other ways than this poker room. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate all.
Ms. Marcy Gelli.
And I have copies of my comments for everyone. Just take one and pass it down. Thank you. Do I start now? Hi, I'm Marcy Galley, 500 Squaw Creek Road. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and my neighbors. I had planned to come in here and argue zoning technicalities, but that's not necessary. First thing I'd like to ask is, when did the city become aware of this venture? Was it in June or May?
Your statement, there's no discussion.
This is a question. If
No.
you have
There's
an
no
answer,
responses.
you should be able to answer.
Public comments, Marcy, you have 3 minutes.
That's wrong. That's not the way we've done it in the past. Okay. The Willow Park City Council is the governing body with authority to protect the health, safety, and welfare of our citizens. This means that the council determines what businesses are compatible with our comprehensive plan for development. The Villages of Willow Park is a special mixed-use development, a planned development. All of those specs were approved back in 2017. A concept plan outlined every building within this town center as commercial retail, and the PD document described restaurant and retail uses. So, just like this council had to approve a site plan for the Parker County Ice House that came through, y'all also approved a site plan, not y'all maybe, but the council before you approved a site plan for that building with the parking lot. And all 5 of those tenant spaces were retail. It's in your documentation. A site plan that prevails. That is a council approval. I'm not gonna argue zoning, amusement versus, that's ridiculous, versus retail, commercial, what a private poker club is really falling under. It goes back to the site plan and the Morrison Group, Bryce Poole, Mike Singali. They are the ones who provided that site plan to the city. 5 retail spaces, a private
20 seconds.
21 and up poker club is not retail. So if they're deviating from that site plan, it's got to come back to the council for approval. Please make that happen, please. It's supposed to be retail. Thank you.
Thank you. Trinity Opstad.
Hello, Council. My name is Trinity Opstad, and I live at 101 Breeders' Drive. I have been a citizen of Willow Park for almost a year, and I chose this city for a year of looking in Texas for somewhere to live. And it was wonderful to come here to know it is a growing community, but this is not a growing community that I would want to be a part of, and I don't think anybody else wants to. I do have children. I have teenage children, and I do have grandchildren, and for this to be part of Willow Park is very disturbing to me. And I really hope that you guys reconsider this. If it should be retail, I'm 1,000% for that. We need retail. We need other things here, not a card club. I'm not opposed, but I'm not for. I am totally against it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Howell.
Hi, guys. My name is Mike Howell. I live at 169 South Bear Creek Lane in Crescent. My family and I run a business in this general area. And first, I want to thank you for walking around and shaking everybody's hand. That means a lot when somebody does something like that. So thank you for that. I'm here as a concerned citizen. I go to church just down the road there. I took my wife on a date in that area the other day. This is where we do life at, right? And I remember we moved here a little over a year ago, and the first thing I saw when we were driving through were signs that said growing greatness. And this to me is not growing greatness, right? This is the opposite of that, right? And so I read an article from Fort Worth from 2019 that said there were 36 search warrants of these so-called game rooms in the first half of 2019. Okay, there were 6 related murders to this game rooms in the first half of 2019. I don't think this is what we want here. And speaking of domestic violence and honoring that, and then we come into something like this. In that article, the health worker said that it's not unusual to find a mattress in the back for prostitution in these places when they go in on these search warrants. I don't think this is what we want here. I don't think this is growing greatness, and I don't think it should be a part of this community. Thank you.
Thank you. James Seals.
Council, James Seals, 412 Big Creek Road. So I just want to address not the council, but the taxpayers of the city. I've lived here since 2017, and this room is usually barren. There's no one in here for the council meeting. It's really, really sad. I watch it on Facebook, but I have to work. I can't be in here. This council, if you looked at your water bill, a lot of people just now found out you now have a big fee on your water bill for drainage issues that they're trying to correct in the city. I haven't seen anyone fix the issues on Deer Pond Drive. I mean, the roads are still completely flooded. Every time it rains, we have moon craters on the road. So tax dollars aren't going where they're supposed to be going. To the council, every single time, we just need to rename the town Brian Grimes. That's the new name of this town, is Brian Grimes. The entire council, and I understand 2 people on the council were not voted in, but applied. And no, I did not apply, and that's my own fault for that. I should have. But everyone says yes. Everyone is terrified on this council to say the word no. It's okay, I promise you, to say the word no on the city council. You're here for the taxpayers. You're here for the citizens of this community, and you guys cannot say no. Brian Grimes like, we need $10 million. Let's do it. Everyone votes yes. I mean, think about the citizens, not about yourself. All right, you're here for all these people, not for yourselves. All right, it's old. It's getting really just, I don't know. But I don't know about you guys, but there's tax increases coming, but no one knows about it because no one comes to the city council meetings and speaks up. You've got to get involved with your community, especially the city council. When the next election comes up, I'm definitely running again because we need some serious change in this town. We need a new city manager, big time. If you guys do open request act to the city secretary, look at the credit card receipts that have how many steakhouses this, not the council, but the city manager and employees here have gone out to eat. I remember when I pulled it in 2017, 2018, it racked up to $9,000, $10,000 in steakhouses. I mean, I don't know who eats steak. I don't eat $10,000 worth of steak, but that's pretty outrageous. And I think everyone here should be angry about that. But we need some serious change here, or the taxes are going to keep going up and more fees that you guys don't know about are going to continue to hit you. Like I said, we just had people just now find out about the drainage fee on their water bill. They had no clue about it. And that is really, really sad. Thank you.
Miss Stacy Lynch.
So, don't start my time yet, because I gotta say something funny. So Mom walks in, she whispers in my ear, and she says, "You're not gonna make anybody mad, are you?" I was like, "We have to work with these people." Oh, anyway, I had to make it funny. I'm Stacy Lynch. I am a commercial real estate broker here in Willow Park. This is Jan Lynch. She's been a real estate broker here in Willow Park for 49 years. My daughter, Danny Doak. She is also here as a real estate agent. We are a third-generation real estate company who has served Willow Park and surrounding areas of Parker County for 50 years this February. We are here today to express our professional opinion as to what a potential poker card room would do in our city and in our county. I'm speaking as a commercial real estate broker today. We believe a poker room will slowly tear down and tear away the moral fabric of our community and invite opportunity for more adult-like businesses to come in, which will negatively affect and impact good development and real estate property values. When businesses are looking for locations, they look for synergistic businesses that attract like customers. Once a 24-hour adult business comes in and enters the city, the window to the soul of the city of Willow Park will have been opened. How do you, City Council, say no to the next adult business? Well, you don't. Why? Because it creates a monopoly. So, what happens? The values of the city start to decline as the families begin to go to neighboring cities to eat, to shop, to enjoy new family time. This creates a downward spiral of lease rates in shopping centers, which in turn drives building values down, which then attracts these negative, synergistic businesses that we do not want our families to be exposed to. I represent large developers, including 2,000-acre Dean Ranch to the east. I have met with many high-quality corporate companies from 200 employees that love East Parker County. They are interested in moving their headquarters here and to want to call it their home. I am concerned this will be a detriment as to the reason for their love of this area is it offers wholesome family values. I work with national tenants that will say no to Willow Park if 24 adult businesses are allowed in the city. I'm an alumni of Aledo. This is very emotional for me, sorry. I'm an alumni of Aledo, and I moved here in 1972. Over the years, as a community, clearly we have defined our goals, our values, our mission as a community in Aledo School District. We are winners. We excel at what we do. We don't settle for second. We say no to peer pressure, and we rise above the rest. We do grow greatness. We have done this. And how have we done this? We have never rested on our morals, on what is most important, our children. When you bring adult entertainment in the backyard of the largest youth athletic program of Aledo, AAI, what are we doing? We are showing our children it's okay to give a little. It's okay to give on your beliefs and your morals. The long term of the effect of the decision this council has made or plans to make is yet to be seen. I believe this will cause a downward trajectory of the health and vitality of how we see Willow Park and East Parker County today. It makes Parker County a destination to be known for nefarious activity that is against what we stand for. Bert told me Fort Worth turned this down. Other cities in Parker County turned this down. So Willow Park should be home to it. I believe this is a question that all business owners and individuals need to ask themselves. I am a family business owner in Parker County and have been for 49 years, and I say no.
Thank you, Stacy. Julie Sesson, do I have that right?
So before I get started, I want to thank you all for your time. I know what it's like to put so much time and dedication into a city and into a body of people. Let me introduce myself. My name is Julia Sessom. I'm a current resident here in Willow Park. I have 3 children, and today I'm going to speak on behalf of being a concerned citizen and a concerned parent. The number one concern that I have is the location and the type of business that the council has approved. The location is within less than 5 square miles of 4 Aledo Independent School Districts and 2 softball complexes and football complexes. What does that look like as a precipitation to our children? Also, the business hours are 24 hours. What does that look like to our student teenage drivers that are getting behind a vehicle at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to football practice whenever we have drunk drivers coming out onto the road? Can we trust that, honestly? Another concern that I do have is I don't believe that we have enough police employees here within the city, and crime rate, I do believe in our city is low compared to a lot of other cities around us. And are we prepared to alleviate tax dollars to make more police jobs to make sure the crime rate is lower around our city? You know, I'm really concerned for our children. I'm really concerned for all the citizens here. You know, I'm not for it 100%.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Corey Hammond.
How we doing, y'all?
We're good.
All right. Before I get started, real quick, just introduce myself, a little background. My wife, kids, and I, we moved to Toledo about 1.5 years ago, just neighboring community here, after spending 7 years in the Keller, Texas area. So we moved there after spending 13 years on active duty in the Navy flying fighters before I got hired by the Texas Air National Guard here to come fly C-130. So aside from doing real estate with Stacy Lynch here locally, I serve our country as a reservist out here with the Texas Air National Guard, and I also fly the Airbus A320 for a legacy major airline carrier located here locally. So without further ado, to the folks here, we all know why we're here. We all got news of this facility that's coming to town, and you know, as somebody like the gentleman over here said, and Stacy and everybody else in the room, we moved to Aledo because it's a school district that is growing greatness, all right? And it's not just the city of Aledo, but it's Willow Park, it's Hudson Oaks, it's everything that East Parker County is. And 1.5 years ago, when my wife and I got involved with Stacy in the commercial real estate business, the one thing that I'm passionate about is not only seeing a community grow greatness with their children, but greatness with their businesses. And that's one thing that I spend all of the time on my days off, the times on my layovers when I'm out flying. When I was deployed 1.5 years ago over in Iraq, I spent time talking to businesses, national and state business. Before I came to this meeting tonight, I was meeting with a Christian-based company that has a $20 million a year revenue business that's looking at relocating to Eastern Parker County. And what do I tell them when when they see that Willow Park is, wanting to put a facility like this? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like a lot of you didn't know really what this was and what was coming in, and the zoning was built to bring a certain business, and somebody pulled the wool over everybody's eyes to bring something else in. So I love this community, not just Aledo. I love Willow Park. We have a great professional relationship working with you folks. And I just sold a corner up here the other day to an investor that's looking to bring some high-end medical businesses into this community, something that you're going to see come across your desk here pretty soon as it goes through the feasibility. We need more businesses that are going to generate the right tax dollars. Seeing that I have 2 kids that play t-ball and baseball, and that this is going to go 1/2 block down the street from AAI, where all of us, everybody in this room who's had kids, spend time every Saturday and a lot of nights during the week with our children, playing baseball. what's that visibility? What's that example we're setting for our children? You know?
Thank you,
got
Mr. Hammond.
You got this location going here and Willow Park Baptist Church around the corner. I mean, not really something we need, folks. And I appreciate everything you guys do for our community. But please appreciate our needs and our wants here, and please keep this thing from coming to town, all right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ms. Shannon Byrd.
So I'm Shannon Bird. I'm owner of Bird Mill in the same facility in which the signed lease for the poker room has already been signed, and y'all already know this. I am going to say I wasn't going to speak. I've prayed about this really hard. It's been a rough couple months. But I'd like to start with the beginning. I met with Mike Sangali, who was our landlord, June 18th, because I had someone interested in Suites 101 and 102. At that time, I was told by my landlord, Mike Sangali, of which you know, that the space was already leased. You two gentlemen know this. You two know that it was coming to town, and yet it wasn't until July 13th that an ordinance was passed for amusement. It was last Tuesday. Actually, let me back up. I called and left a message for Brian Grimes in July, of which I received no return call. I called again, end of July, beginning of August, asked to speak with Brian Grimes, and the question was, what is this regards to? And I said, the suites in my building, 101 and 102, I heard are a card room. I heard this because Suite 103 is a hair salon in which Bert Parnell's wife gets her haircut, and she started talking about it. And Suite 104 is Jordan Muffler and his wife, who found out about it because they happened to run into the gentleman down there, and he sells beer and wine, so it's going to be beneficial for his business. Nobody else has known about this except for you two. The other thing is, I did not receive a call back from Brian. I received a call back from someone else in the city office. I expressed my concern, and I was told it's legal. They can't do anything about it. I said, well, this is going to be a 24-hour operation, and they start off with a 4 a.m. with the intent to be 24-hour. And I was told that, well, the hours were never presented to y'all, so it didn't matter. Okay. I'm having a really hard time with this. It wasn't till last Tuesday that Stacy asked me to meet with her about coffee. Had nothing to do with this space. I've sat on it. I haven't talked to anyone about it. And she asked about 101 and 102 because she had someone to lease it. She had someone interested, and I said, it's already leased. And she goes, to who? And I was like, I don't want to talk about it. And she goes, well, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, it's a card room, to which it created conversation. So my question to everyone else in the room, besides those two gentlemen, is how long have you known about it? I can guarantee it's not been more than 7 days, because that's how many days ago I met Stacy. And it was 7 days ago that I opened my mouth saying, I have some concern, in which she started saying, what are you talking about? And it started to get to talk about it. What the hell is my question? Why in the world? How long was it going to take, had I not had coffee with Stacy, for anyone in this room to know that we had a poker room coming to town? I have heard, I cannot speak on behalf of the council, but I've heard council didn't even know about it. They were told it was an amusement for a movie theater. To which, did you gentlemen know before 7 days ago? I bet you can say no. I bet most of you can say no. So what the hell is happening? How are you? What point were we going to find out about this? My business will fail with what's about to happen.
Thank you, Ms. Byrd.
I'm not finished.
Yes.
I spoke with Bert Parnell the other day. He told me, he came to introduce himself on Friday because the newspaper was doing an article. The newspaper is doing an article because we reached out to them, not because they want to talk about Bert Parnell. City of Hudson Oaks denied him. The building that was next to the XXX store denied the poker room to come in. So my question is, what remains? Have I not met with Stacy last week? Would this just been something that just goes on and happens? If it doesn't, if it's not approved by our citizens, it's not approved by our preachers, who Clark Bocher just found out yesterday.
Ms. Bird, your time is up, please.
Okay, but I'm not.
But everyone gets 3 minutes. I'm sorry. Your time's up.
I will just excuse myself after this, but my question to you is, at what point were you going to tell us? Were you hoping to get this by? Because I've already asked Mike Singali to excuse the lease that's already signed. It's not proposed, y'all. It's a done deal. Do you not get it?
Thank you.
Y'all know this, and I am so sick of it. My question to Brian, your Facebook says Matthew 6, put God's kingdom first. Do what he wants you to do, then all those things will also be given to you. My question to you is that what you're doing? Are you putting the kingdom of God first? Or are you putting your best interest first?
Miss Amy Fennell.
My name is Amy Fennell. I'm at 1304 Saddle Trail, and I'm here to call on council to honor the plan development that was put in place in 2017 and repeal the amusement ordinance that allows poker room. I'm a resident of Willow Park, a former city council member, and a commercial realtor with Lynch Legacy Realty Group. As a resident, I'm dismayed that Willow Park passed an ordinance that brought gambling into the city. As a former council member, I'm astonished that staff lied to council about the purpose of the amusement ordinance. Staff presented this ordinance as one that was necessary for wholesome entertainment like a movie theater and a bowling alley. Nothing was said about poker rooms. This council would not have knowingly passed or voted for an ordinance that allows an adult entertainment business. I fully believe that council was duped. As a commercial realtor, I can with confidence tell you that this poker room will have a devastating effect on our current businesses and future development. Commercial Real Estate 101 says that like businesses attract like businesses. Entrepreneurs look for areas with businesses that are complementary to their own because similar businesses draw on clientele that's consistent with their own, which in turn contributes to their success. If you allow this poker room to open, it will only attract other businesses that offer adult entertainment. Current businesses will lose their family-driven clientele and go under. It doesn't matter how high-end this poker room claims to be. It's an adult entertainment industry that will only draw in other adult entertainment establishments. Plain and simple. Wholesome businesses and quality developers are going to stop at 1187 and skip right over us. Nobody on that council, in my eyes, I don't believe anybody on this council wants to see that happen. You have to step up and fix it. I know that the claim will be that you're legally bound to honor the zoning. That's not good enough. You were tricked into passing this ordinance. And I can say that because I've been sitting at this dais. And it had been presented to me the way that staff presented it. I know I would have passed it. Repeal it. You were tricked. Repeal it. Find a way to stop that poker room. Protect us. Protect our businesses. You are better than this. Do better.
Miss Haley Reeder.
Hi, I come as a concerned mom. So I'm Haley Reeder. I live on Reeder's Drive. Absorb that real quick. And I come as a mom of 3 young boys. We moved from Arizona 2 years ago. These are my boys. In case you've forgotten what it feels like to have little kids, these are my boys. They're 7, 5, and 3. And we moved to Willow Park because it is a Jesus-loving town. There are good people here, and there are good values, so let's keep it that way. I pulled some statements and statistics from an article. It's all based on scholarly articles. I'm happy to share it if you need it. It is, speaking of gambling halls in the area, it is not uncommon that significant others end up as victims of a crime. Petty theft from family members and illicit lending are relative common forms of interpersonal harm. Violence associated with gambling is an extreme form of interpersonal harm. Pathological gambling has also been observed to be associated with homicide in the family. I don't know about you, but I don't want to see homicides here. Children, if we're speaking of our children, which is, I think, why the majority of us are here, children of problem gamblers have an elevated risk of gambling problems. Further, health risk behaviors such as smoking tobacco, drinking alcohol, and drug abuse are common. These children also have higher a risk for physical and mental health problems and suicide attempts. Children can suffer long-term effects because of neglect and uninvolved parenting. I know that our town is so much better than that, so much better than building our kids up for failure. That's not fair to them. Additionally, gambling brings social problems and leads to increased demand for social services. Studies have shown that increased availability of gambling is associated with increased problem gambling rates. A positive relationship has even been observed between casino proximity and problem gambling. Finally, gambling can also increase criminality in several ways. Firstly, by increasing the number of problem gamblers, because problem gamblers are more likely to commit crimes than the general population. And in my opinion, we are not a big enough town, even combined with Aledo, to service this gambling hall on our own. We all know that people are going to come from outside of our town to do this, bringing along with them their crimes. Secondly, increasing opportunities for illegal activity and creating venues that sell alcohol and potentially affect alcohol-related offenses. The introduction of casinos has been associated with increased violent crime and rates of driving while intoxicated. And thirdly, by increasing the overall number of visitors to the area, because increases in population and tourism contribute to increased crime rates. So as you reflect and look at what our options are to stop this from coming in, I want you to remember my kids, your kids, their kids, because they are all our kids.
Thank you, Ms. Reeder.
Thank you.
Nora Shoffett.
Nora Shoffett. I live at 144 Melbourne. I was supposed to be at soccer games tonight, so I have nothing prepared. But I'm just here to say that I oppose of this game amusement room. And I feel like it's sad that we're even considering it. It's not good for our families, it's not good for kids, and especially it's not good for young adults. When we've gone through a time of COVID, when there are so many lost teenagers and so many lost young college students, we've seen suicide higher in our area, and it's so sad. And now we're going to entice them and tempt them to go somewhere other than their family, go somewhere other than where they should be getting help. This isn't good for our community.
Thank you. MJ Bentley.
And just like you, I had no idea about this until today. I saw a post on Aledo Moms, and it said, you know, if you wanted to say something. I'm MJ Bentley, and good evening, gentlemen. I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to say something. I have such a passion for our youth that we are opening up a legacy community center right here in Aledo Willow Park area because I have such a passion because of what you just said. We lost one of our Bearcats to suicide last year, and he was almost 13. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a nurse, and I served in the United States Navy as a nurse. And this little boy took his life right before he was 13, and we did a film about it. We have a PSA out that you guys can go and watch to just educate your families about it. But I'm here to tell you, this is not good for your community. We want to grow in greatness, but we also want to raise up legends. We want to pour into our children, and you gentlemen can leave a lasting legacy for our kids. And we so appreciate that because we need men like you to stand up and really pour into the children here. If we have that, we have our next generation, y'all. We have our next generation. So please, I am begging you to reconsider and just know that our heart is in the right place. That's why we're all here. Hey, I'm gonna come a lot now that I know where you guys are located. But our heart is in the right place. It really is. We understand that you guys need a place to go and be men. We get that. I have a husband that can play a mean game of poker. He doesn't gamble. He just likes the math behind it all. And he loves playing cards. So maybe we can come up with something for you guys to go and do that. But not right in the middle of our community where we're literally trying to put a community center to restore family units, to have men be the men they need to be for our families, for our children. And then also all of the activities. Guys, we need places for kids to go, not for grown men to go. We need places for kids. I'll take a bowling alley, a sand volleyball court. I mean, just something for these kiddos because they have nowhere to go, y'all. That's why we're doing a community center. So please reconsider. Can you repeal it? Can you do whatever it takes? We are begging you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions? All right, we'll move on to item number 2. That makes sense. No. We're conducting a public hearing to change street name from Bridge Street to Rayfield Wright Drive. The public hearing is opening at 7:49 p.m.
Yes.
Are there any comments? Public hearing is closed at 7:50 p.m. Do we have a motion, please?
I move that we adopt ordinance 839-21, an ordinance changing the name of a street located in the city of Willow Park, Texas from Bridge Street to Rayfield Wright Drive, providing a severability clause and providing for an effective date.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Item number 4, to conduct public hearing on juvenile curfew ordinance. Our public hearing will open at 7:51 p.m. Do we have any comments? Public hearing is closed at 7:52 p.m. Chief West. Item number 5, this is to consider and act on ordinance number 84021, an ordinance continuing the City of Willow Park's juvenile curfew ordinance for an additional 3 years, providing a repealer clause, providing a severability clause, providing a notice clause, and providing for an effective date. Chief West.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This ordinance was originally adopted in November of 18. It's up for renewal. Just some quick facts about this ordinance. From 2018 to 2020, there were 151 citations that were written to juveniles. 35 of those were written during curfew hours. 3 citations were written to those under 17 for consumption of alcohol by minor, 6 for minor in possession during curfew hours. And in 2020, we had 12 instances reported of criminal mischief. 1 was positively identified as a juvenile offender. Graffiti, which is an ordinance we'll be addressing separately, are typically crimes committed by juveniles. And so we're asking that council continue this ordinance for another 3 years.
The curfew ordinance.
Curfew ordinance, yes.
Okay, do we have a motion, please?
I move to adopt ordinance 841-21, an ordinance of the City of Willow Park, Texas, amending Chapter 8 of the City of Willow Park's Code of Ordinance by adding an Article 8-08 prohibiting and regulating the removal of graffiti, providing a penalty for the violation of this ordinance in an amount not to exceed $500, providing a cumulative repealer clause, providing for a severability clause, and providing an effective date.
That was the graffiti.
That's the next.
Was that the next one?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the next one.
Back up one.
Item number 5,
Did you say 840?
840-21.
84021.
All right, I'll learn how to read numbers.
Take two.
Oh, my goodness. How about you read it? I'll second it.
Make a motion to approve and act, what do we need to read here? An ordinance continuing the City of Willow Park's juvenile curfew ordinance for an additional 3 years, providing a repealer clause, providing a severability clause, providing a notice clause, and providing an effective date.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Item number 6, to consider and act on ordinance 841-21, an ordinance of the City of Willow Park, Texas, amending Chapter 8 of the City of Willow Park's Code of Ordinances by adding an Article 8.08 prohibiting and regulating the removal of graffiti, providing a penalty for violations of this ordinance in an amount of not to exceed $500, providing a cumulative repealer clause, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date. Chief.
Thank you. The graffiti ordinance is proposed as we have noticed some instances of graffiti throughout the city, and there's not currently a graffiti ordinance on the books, and this gives the city the authority to make contact with the property owner, ask them to clean it up, and then if they don't, then the city can step in and then subsequently bill for what it costs the city to clean up. It also allows for a 10% additional billing should the city have to contract that service out.
Okay.
Would that be in the form of a lien?
Liens are possible if they don't pay.
If we have to clean it up, then yes, we can place a lien on the property.
Okay. Okay, do we have a motion, please?
I move to adopt the ordinance I just read, 841-21. Unless somebody else wants me to read it.
I second it.
I apologize.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussions?
Was that Running that seconded it?
Yeah.
Yes.
All in favor? Thank you.
It's in there 3 times.
Item number 7, to consider and act on ordinance 842-21, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Willow Park, Texas, repealing ordinance number 318-92 and amending Willow Park's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 4, Article 403, alarm systems in its entirety, to regulate burglary, robbery, fire, medical emergency assistance, panic alarms, and persons engaged in relaying alarm notifications, providing for the issuance and revocation of permits and for the establishment of permit fees, providing an appeal procedure for denial or revocation of a permit, providing for the enforcement of such regulations, providing for a service charge fee for false alarms, allowing for response termination by city police and fire departments in the event of noncompliance with this ordinance, providing for a penalty for the violation of this ordinance, providing savings, repealing and severability clauses, and providing for an effective date. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. We're asking that the alarm ordinance be updated and an update to the master fee schedule as well. Our current ordinance is antiquated, and we have no way to track who has an alarm in the city. And so we're asking for this ordinance so that we can issue permits for each alarm. We're asking for $25 annually for residential permits, $50 annual for business permits, a graduated scale for false burglary alarms beginning at the first false alarm after 3, not counting acts of God, and for false robbery or false panic alarms, $75 per alarm after 3, and a graduated scale up to $150 after 5. It's our proposal that there be a 90-day registration period, since this is very new, and then a 6-month grace period before any penalties are assessed.
Okay.
How do you propose the fees be collected annually?
Fees would be paid at the police department. It would also, we would also add an alarm module to our current RMS system to track the alarm information. That way it's readily available to everyone in patrol. So if we need key holder information, if there is a problem with the property, then that information is available to the officers.
So there's an automated system that will track when an alarm comes in?
No, the tracking would be just for who the key holder is within our records management system. Instead of relying on a binder full of sheets of paper, we would be responsible for entering that into the system, and it would be available through our RMS. And that charge through our RMS is $1,500 a year.
Would this be required for every alarm, or would it be a voluntary fee?
Well, if it goes into ordinance, it would be required for every alarm holder.
So what's the process right now? You get a call from, an alarm company saying that there is activity. What's the normal process for us, and how do we know if it's real or not?
We don't. We still wouldn't know with this ordinance. We still respond, but we have no, say we get there and the house is empty, but there has been activity at the house. If the water department's closed, if it's after hours, then we have to hope that we have a call history at that address to look up information. So if it's at a place where you used to live, but you don't live there anymore and we're calling you, it's not going to do the new homeowner any good. So if we have updated information when those alarm calls trigger and there is an issue, it will help us locate those folks.
And what the scale is kind of saying is really your first 3 alarms are free, right?
Yes,
And
in a
then
12-month
after
period.
Yeah.
After 3 in a 12-month period, it's billed.
Right. So most residents can kind of just expect the $25 annual fee or business $50, and hopefully we don't have more than
Yes,
3
and
false.
And a lot of the false alarms come in when we have thunderstorms. So the false alarms that are triggered due to acts of God, wind, hail, rain, those are not included in those 3 false alarms.
Okay.
And then I did a little research just to give you an idea. Weatherford is $50 a year, whether it's a business or residential, and then 10 years, $10 a year for renewal. Fort Worth is a flat $50 a year. So this is kind of in the middle.
What happens if you don't register and the alarm goes off and you respond?
We leave a warning and ask them to register their alarm. More than one, a citation could be issued. In my 27-year career, I don't think I've ever written that ticket. I won't say it can't be done, but they're already.
Right. And you think this is necessary because your officers are wasting time, not time, but resources are being allocated to false alarms in the city?
Well, we would still allocate the false alarm resources. This just gives us a better mechanism to find out who lives there if there is an issue.
To build a database.
To build a database, and that database costs money.
Right, understood.
So that way when you guys get there, the police department gets there, you know who to contact.
Yes.
Versus,
Versus trying to go through other ways of,
Right.
tax records or water billing or, some of those other secret things that we have.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. Do we have a motion, please?
I move to adopt ordinance 842-21, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Willow Park, Texas, repealing ordinance 318-92 and amending Willow Park's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 4, Article 4.03, alarm systems in its entirety, to regulate burglar, robbery, fire, medical emergency assistance, panic alarms, and persons engaged in relaying alarm notifications, providing for the issuance and revocation of permits for the establishment of permit fees, providing an appeal procedure for denial or revocation of a permit, providing for the enforcement of such regulations, providing for a service charge fee for false alarms, allowing for response termination by city police this ordinance, providing for a penalty for the violation of this ordinance, providing savings, repealing, and severability clauses, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or discussion for Carrie? All in favor? Thank you. Item number 8, to consider and act upon the mental health leave policy for peace officers and the quarantine leave policy for police officers and firefighters as required for SB 1359, passed during the last legislative session. Carrie.
Pat, do you want to take the lead on this, or?
Sure, I'll be glad to. Yes, the last legislature basically requires the city, by and through its police department, to adopt a mental health leave. That's what we're doing first, correct?
Yes.
Or this is quarantine leave?
We're doing mental health leave.
Quarantine leave first, okay. Quarantine leave is basically if an officer or a firefighter is exposed to a communicable disease, then they are allowed to have time off without having to take their sick leave or vacation leave. And so that was the mandate, that we work with our fire and police departments and adopt that policy. So what you have before you is a resolution that complies with that mandate. If you have any question, I'll be glad to answer it.
And this is just for public safety?
It is.
So Public Works is not applicable under this?
Now, you can, some cities are basically adopting it for other departments if you so desire, but primarily it's, I mean, the legislature basically wants this protection given to police and fire officers since they're out in front lines dealing with a lot of these issues and get exposure. But it could certainly be at any department.
Is there a resolution to read or an ordinance?
No, just to move.
Make a motion. Any other questions for Pat, or do we have a motion?
Let's see, is there ordinance to read, or
Would it be the general order number?
Pat, you have a suggested motion?
Yeah, just move to approve the policy.
It's a policy.
So I'll make a motion to approve the mental health leave policy for the peace officers and the quarantine leave policy for the police officers and firefighters as required for SB 1359.
And HB 2073.
And HB 2073.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Item number 9, update on Fort Worth Water Project. Mr. Grimes?
Yes, per Councilmember Contreras' request, I have an update from Half and Associates. The line obviously has been substantially completed, both segments of the line from Fort Worth to here and from here to Hudson Oaks. The main project, the main focus now is going to be on the ground storage tank and the pump station. They already started excavation for the storage tank over there this week. It's going to be big. That's going to be the construction of the tank will be their focus for the next month. Sometime in the next 30 days or so, the temporary water supply from Fort Worth will be shut down so that we can start working on the main meter station. We have a temporary right now. We're hoping for mid-October, maybe a little bit later. I think demand's going to start to drop off, especially if we start to get some rain and cooler temps. And the contractor's okay with that. Overall, the project is still be completed the 1st of May of 2022, and we should be up and running by then.
Has water actually gone to Hudson Oaks yet?
I don't believe it has. I don't think any, probably outside of testing, I don't think any potable water has gone to Hudson Oaks.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions for Brian? Item number 10, discussion and action on the American Recovery Act funding. Mr. Grimes?
Yes, part of the American Recovery Act that was passed this spring by Congress. The city of Willow Park, in addition of several other cities, I think every city, We're going to receive approximately $1.7 million in funding from that. Jake and our understanding is they'll be in two fairly equal payments of roughly $723,000 apiece. We have received the first installment. We should receive the next installment in 12 months. These funds there's a number of activities that you can do, but the ones that we think are more critical and probably put to best use is invest in the water sewer and making necessary investments to improve access to clean drinking water, support vital wastewater and stormwater infrastructure, and any sort of broadband internet issues. Previously, council has authorized staff to conduct an RFP for these things for both administration and engineering. We wanted to get your guidance on how you want to spend these funds, given the parameters that Congress has set out. We can do it for anything for water related. We can do it for wastewater related. We could maybe use it for some streets, but that's probably not going to get a lot of bang for the buck on that, given the cost of a street project. Staff has recommended, but clearly we will go to the will of council, that we have a growing demand on the south side of the interstate, south of I-20 over by the TCA area, and that a lift station of some sort be placed over there to handle sewer on the south side. We can then pump that sewer to the Kingsgate lift station and then take it to the new wastewater treatment plant. We can also use some water line replacement with it if you're interested in that. But to get the project going, we need to put the RFP out. I can put an RFP out and I can contact the engineers, and the first thing they're going to ask me is, what are we doing? And so that's a question inevitably this council needs to answer. And if you have any suggestions or recommendations, we'd be happy to hear them.
Well, my vision on this is I've talked with several folks throughout the last year and a half that have previously been on council or served the city. And one of the items that has always come up is our water lines that we have. We don't really necessarily know where some of them are because they've been kind of piecemealed throughout the years. In Willow Park, we're not really sure on some of them the actual size of them and the quality of material. What I would like to see on this one is we've got Fort Worth Water, we've redone our wells. Now let's make sure our water infrastructure is sound, making sure we have the right size lines that feed our neighborhoods, that not only take care of what we have now, but in some of the areas that we have potential growth, we need to make sure we have, and we're planning for that as well. That's where I would like to see it. We have quality water to our citizens. We need to have the right lines to make sure and ensure that the water quality stays high to them, to their house. That's where I would like to see this.
I think we need to really look at putting a lift station on the south side, because otherwise everything over there is going to be on septics, and that's just a long-term problem. So, we got a lot of needs both in water and sewer, so.
Would there be, it says 1.7.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is this going to be for that portion we've already received that we need to allocate those funds now, or are we looking at
we can do
acting on that 1.7, and at that point, can we tackle both of these projects based on that number?
What you could do is, and Derek, correct me if I'm wrong, you've got more experience with this. You have $700,000. It has been deposited. We have set up a separate fund specifically for that, for accounting purposes and other things. You won't receive another $700,000 for 9 to 12 months. At that point, you'll have 1.7. There is a time frame of which you have to expend the funds. You can't sit on it forever. Is that your understanding as well?
It is. I don't remember the date, but it's a few years.
Yeah. So you don't have to make a decision today, but we do want to know how you want to do it. Because if you want to do a lift station, for example, $650,000. So
So there'd still be some money for water.
There would. I don't know what kind of line replacement you could actually get for the remaining 75 to 100.
Well, I mean, you could do quite a bit. It's,
Okay.
I can look at the CIP, I haven't done that, but the distribution line replacement portion of that was probably a little over $1 million, best I recall, 1.3 maybe. So you could do a substantial portion of it.
Oh, if you took the 1 point, if you took the full take.
If you took half, if you did half with the sewer and half with the water, you get a substantial portion of the water CIP.
Okay.
More than half.
I was thinking of just this first 700,000. That's,
So we could do the lift station, then there'd be money coming to help with the water.
yes.
So could we direct staff to get proposals for both projects and then,
Yeah.
vote on it at the next council meeting or so and decide how we want to proceed, which has priority?
Yeah, I would recommend you word your RFQ, water and sewer projects, and keep it pretty generic, and then it would be eligible for you.
When we do the RFQ, do we have to specify like we would for a bid package, or is this more of a CDBG process?
Yeah, it's more the latter. You would not have to, you need to make some mention of what type of project
Sure.
it is, but you don't have to be specific.
We don't have to say so many feet of pipe and so much diameter. Okay. So we could do a broad RFP.
This would be just like the SRF programs that you guys are using for your other projects. That it would be, in fact, their guidance specifically states that it should follow those same criteria.
So would there be cost savings, or would we get more bang for the buck by combining water and pump station into one contract to go out to bid for a larger contract?
You might get some economy of scale there. Your lift station is going to be a totally different contractor than the line work. So the water side of it would be, you wouldn't save a lot between those two.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to instruct staff to do
So I'd make a motion to direct staff to do requests for proposals for both lift station and for water line replacements. Is that all you need for direction, or to accommodate, or for the use of these funds?
Lift station specify on the south side.
Best south side, yeah.
And water line replacement pursuant to the CIP, or do y'all have any particular areas of town you'd want to hit?
CIP.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
Item number 11, forgiveness of inter-fund balance within the enterprise fund.
Yes, past couple of audits, the auditors have made a note of an interfund transfer from the wastewater fund to the water fund. If you've been on the council, you've heard them mentioned a couple of times. Jake Weber and I were discussing this the other day, and one of the things that we need to do is we either just figure out if we're going to start paying this back from the sewer fund to the water fund, or are we just going to forgive the fund balance. We can do whatever council requests or suggests. Since this transfer was made, I believe in when did they do the lift station, Derek? 2016?
No, I'm sorry, 15.
15.
It's been a while.
There has been no transfer of funds, and none of the loan has been paid back to ourselves. With the new wastewater treatment plant coming on board, the likelihood of that transfer becomes even less. And so we are here to figure out what council wants to do. We brought this up today because we want to get this wrapped up in this fiscal year. Obviously, the auditors will be coming out in a couple of months, and we wanted to do what the council's will is.
I'll make a motion to simply forgive that interfund balance debt from this waste treatment fund to the water fund.
There's a motion there, if you'll help us with it, Greg.
I'm sorry?
There's a motion there.
Oh, okay. I move that the City of Willow Park forgive the interfund transfer of the wastewater loan that originated from the Water Department and take all appropriate actions to implement the forgiveness of said loans.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, the City Council may convene into closed executive session in accordance with the following authority.
Could we change order and have public comments first? I mean, no, not public, but comments from council and talk about items on the agenda for next meeting.
You want to do that before we go to executive session?
Yes, I think that would be good.
Okay, we'll do that. Mayor and council comments. Mr. Grimes, you have any council member have any comments?
So I'd like to lead off, given the, what everybody's brought to the table this evening to discuss this item for the poker room, I think we need to revisit that. We need to revisit that ordinance, and you know, we have a responsibility to take a look at that and see if it's really in the city's best interest. And you know, I think there's been some personal attacks on our city administrator, which I think are totally unfair. I've been through 3 city administrators full-time, and this gentleman to my left here has been by far the most professional, the most expert in this job that this city's ever had. He is head and shoulders above anything that we've ever had in this city. He's got major projects that he's taken on and accomplished. And so, you know, I just find it really disgusting, to be honest, that those kind of personal comments are made. You know, they're just, we've been through audits, they've looked at the books, they've looked at everything this gentleman's done. And so he's got my 100% support, so.
I concur. Anything else, any council member comments? Mr. Grimes?
The TML conference will be next week. We will probably leave, we have reservations for Wednesday through Friday. Tyler and I may leave Tuesday to attend a couple of conferences. I understand we had a couple of council members who will not be able to attend for personal reasons. If you want to attend, I know Tyler's going. If you'd like to attend, let me know. We can get you in. If not, we have those places reserved for staff, if staff can attend. This is the end of the fiscal year for Willow Park. I'll say that we've had a record sales tax again. Your raw increase was nearly $250,000. And that is a sign of a good economy. Our sales tax is very vibrant and it's growing. We are expecting some more good things ahead. I'd like to welcome Crystal.
Welcome, Crystal.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
She's already made herself at home. She's already kicked Candy out, which is a good thing. And so we look forward to having you on staff. Also want to make an announcement that we've had a couple of personnel leave the City Hall in the last couple of weeks. The front desk clerk, Diana, has, via text message actually, said she wasn't coming back to work. So we have moved some people around at City Hall. We have hired Tony Fisher, formerly with the City of Aledo, to come in and be Betty's assistant as we are preparing for some position changes over there as well.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I would just encourage you folks to keep coming out to the council meetings. This is the kind of input that we seek from the citizens of Willow Park. So please continue. I know we haven't said much, but it's not on the agenda, so we're trying to keep it in the legal bounds of things. So, but I encourage you to go on the website, look at our name and numbers, give us a call, If I don't answer you, I'll try to call you back. I know all these folks will do the same, so we're just like all you. We live here. Our kids grow up here. That's all I've got.
Anything else?
I'd like to say a quick thank you to the staff here at City Hall that did step up as we've been making different changes in personnel. Everybody's kind of had to juggle different hats, and I know that's not easy. You know, Candy coming here, then stepping down, and just handling all these different things. We've had a number of people, Rose, I know as well, stepping into those roles, and nameless others. So thank you to all the employees here at City Hall for just the juggling act you performed and the duties that you gone above and beyond each time. So thank you for that.
And if I may, Candy Scott has been a vital asset to this city for 2 decades. I think she's got 20-plus years, and she's coming up on her 21st year. She's joked that she's had every job in this office, from billing clerk to city manager and everything in between. And Bobby Roundtree fired her 6 times, and she kept coming back. We could not have gotten through this period without Candy. She's a remarkable woman, and she is a big asset to this community.
Okay, anything else? Okay, executive session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act. Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, the City Council may convene into a closed executive session in accordance with the following authority. Section 551071, consultation with attorney. 551072, real property. 551073, prospective gifts. 551074, personnel matters. 551076, security matters. 551087, economic development. Executive session may be held under these exceptions at the end of the regular session, workshop and/or special session, or at any time during the meeting that a need arises for the City Council to seek advice from the City Attorney as to the posted subject matter to this City Council meeting. Without limiting the foregoing, City Council may convene into closed executive session on the following: economic development negotiations. We're going to end executive session at 8:25 p.m. Could we clear the chamber, please?